In May 1939, Councillor Mary Morris Knibb did not hide her disgust at a Kingston and St. Andrew Parish meeting. A special KSAC meeting was called to address an amendment to a law. Mrs. Knibb was present along with the mayor and some of her colleagues. In addition, stakeholders attended, and those included police officers and solicitors representing merchants and peddlers. Under the corporation's rules, since there were not enough members present to make a quorum, the mayor had to cancel the meeting. As the only woman councillor at the time, Mrs. Knibb voiced her dissatisfaction by shouting out that if the male councillors knew they couldn't serve, then why did they offer their service to the public? That loud vocal reaction was not expected from ladies at that time. But Mary Morris Knibb was no ordinary Jamaican lady. She was a trailblazer who did not hesitate to challenge color and gender issues. In fact, with her social and political activism, there was no surprise that she was the first woman to run and win an electoral seat at the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, also known as KSAC. She was also the first woman to contest a general elections in Jamaica. Although she did not win this political race, she continued to be actively involved in many social and charitable organizations that primarily champion the causes of disadvantaged women and children. Mrs. Knibb came before a labor unrest commission visiting Jamaica in 1938. On testifying to the commission, Mrs. Knibb included in her statement that Black Jamaicans were not welcomed to join the child welfare organization. In fact, Mrs. Knibb added that she and others were told by child welfare members to form their own branch of the child welfare organization. But since forming an auxiliary branch was costly, Mrs. Knibb and her colleagues eventually started Save the Children Fund. While members of the child welfare organization later objected to Mrs. Knibb's claim of discrimination in their membership acceptance policies, they could not respond as to why no dark-skinned Jamaicans were members of their organization. After a long career as a teacher, Mrs. Knibb started her own school. The Morris Knibb Prep School continues to represent its outstanding namesake that gave so much to ensuring that all needy Jamaican children were given an opportunity to succeed. Mrs. Knibb bequeathed the school's adjacent property and building to the Moravian Church. She was a stalwart of this church and became the first elected woman representative of the Moravian Church in Jamaica. The hall of the Church of the Redeemer is named after Mrs. Knibb, its chief benefactor. For her outstanding services, Mrs. Knibb was honored with the Order of the British Empire.